Hello everybody, I'm back. It's Sunday night and I'm doing my scents of the week for this past week, and I'm still doing the sample September that Melissa Villanueva and others are doing. I think Daniela, Mama Curly's really Curly Fragrance, I think she's doing it. And I think there's a few other people that do this. Once a year they do a sample month. So, and we transitioned here where I live to cooler weather this week. A cool front came through and it was a lot cooler nights. So I'm going to go to more fall scents. And the first one I grabbed was By the Fireplace. This is a sample I have from Sephora when it was little 15 mils. And I bought that. And what's interesting, when I bought that, Miss Floss didn't like it. She didn't like it in the store, but my granddaughter did. So I bought it. And every subsequent wear, Miss Fritz likes it more. So, and this time she gave it an 8. I still give it a 9. Basically, it's a woody vanilla. And the one thing it has casmirin in it, which I think gives it a smokiness. It also has guaiac wood and chestnut. But yeah, it's just a woody vanilla and with smoke. Beautiful fragrance. There's many reviews on this, so you know what it is. So there's that. And then interesting, I sort of shook this up. Tuesday was the start of our fair in our town. We have the largest street fair in Pennsylvania. And it was the start of that. And I didn't know I was going to be going to the fair. And I thought I was going to be staying home. So I went back to Shelter and Perfume. And in my sample box of that, I had mentioned that the 4 besides Sir were a little little more floral. And I mentioned at the time that I did all 4 of them, it was too much. Well, actually, one of them could be too much sometimes. And I think that's what happened. This is a really strong floral. And it's good. It is good. I hit it 2 times in the hair. But I understand now, doing all 4 of them, and if they're all as strong as this, was really, really too much. To me, this smells a little bit green, a lot white floral, and some spicy and smokiness. I like it. I did give it an 8, and Miss Fritz gave it a 6. But she thought it was just too strong. That's the only thing. She doesn't like strong perfumes at all. And this has come back. I noticed on Emily's on Instagram. I think she just mentioned this has come back. I like it. I as a man, I like it. So and I think it is unisex leaning femme. Female for those that do that. So that's extra, and that's by Shelter and Perfume. The next one I did was Gallagher, Mist of Time. And I do have a video on this, and on this one it's an interesting video where I talk about the journey I went through, the mist of time, the time's part of this, and how at that time it was a 7 to a 4 to a 9. And now this time it was a 7 to a 6 to a 9. And the reason is because I watched a video. I watched a video by Steve Redolescence, and that's the video you want to watch on this because he explains that journey a little better. And he talks about the black currant in this with the candy citrus and that sort of explained what I was smelling at the time that took me that direction. But then I came back to 9. This is a beautiful fragrance when it dries down, and it didn't take that long. The one I did, I said it was like an hour and a half, but I was wearing clothes that day and full clothes, and this I had more access to my neck and my arm, and beautiful scent. This is a beautiful, beautiful dry down. So, and then the next day I wore Santal Reimagined, and this is by Aromas de Salazar. And that's a guy in San Diego. And I have 3 more of these left. And I just wore this because it was Santale, and I actually like Florist Santale. And so I thought I'll try this. Basically, it was, to me, again, it was more of an amber woody spice. I don't know if with Santale, it smells like one on just its own. I don't know notes, like I don't have essential oils, so I really don't know. But this was more like an amber woody spice. I did like it. I want to rewear it again, and see what else I think. I gave it a 7, and Miss Fritz gave it a 7. So I will rewear that. And then the next one I went to, I went to Wasteland Warrior, and that is by ForTheScentOfIt. And this one's kind of interesting. This one was very, very, very interesting. What he writes about is interesting, but I sprayed it on, and at first I didn't like it, and I thought, wait a minute, this has that. And then it hit me. I had tried something called Nishane Sultan Vetiver in the store, and the guy that owns the store said I would like it because I like vetiver, and I didn't put it on my skin, but I put it on paper, and I didn't like it at first because it's a very strong vetiver. Even though I like vetivers, it's a strong one. So at that day, I never bought that, and I said, oh, no, yeah, I'll leave it on my list, but I doubt I'll buy it, and I didn't. So when I sprayed this, that's what I got. I got that strong vetiver, and immediately my head went back to that Sultan vetiver from Nishane, which now I might buy, because as I left it on my skin this time instead of the paper, I started to like it. I was like, okay, this is just a stronger vetiver, but I can like that. I like vetiver. That smells. Yeah, I can do that. So even that part but then it transitioned at the end into something that I do want to get. I've never smelled, and I have on my list wanting to get, and that's Fat Electrician. I don't know if it's going to smell like this, but this became a vanilla vetiver, just a nice, smooth vanilla vetiver. And that's what I know of Fat Electrician by the Orange, or whatever it is, the Orange. So I guess, I don't know if I'm right about that, but it's a combination of it. And when this dried down to that, it was beautiful. So that was a very good one. So really surprising with his scents. His scents do take you on a journey. And then the next day, I went with El Goodo, and that's by HappyLand. And I wore this down the shore when I was on vacation. And so there's a video of me holding this up or something. I mentioned it. And the thing about this, my sister-in-law gave it a 9, Miss Floss gave it a 9, and I gave it an 8. And what did I write on this? Oh, the one thing about this, it's fruity and it's smoky, and I got a little touch of leather out of it. I liked it. It was fruity, smoky, and a little touch of leather. This is a nice fragrance, and it is El Gouda, so that's a good one. And then the last one I went to was the very first one I bought from ForTheScentOfIt. Actually, I had heard him speak about this on one of the live with Brian from My 2 Cents. And this was the one that interests me. At the time, I was wearing Fico di Amalfi by Aqua de Parma. And this is a fig. It's called Forbidden Fig. And this is the whole reason I ordered from ForTheScentOfIt. And I waited till now to try it on. And I've had his, I've done a lot of his now. But I waited to do this one last. And I'm smelling it now. And this is a great scent. And I didn't know. I really didn't know what fig smelled like till I smell it now. And I had to look that up. And this is really basic. It's fig, and then it's fig pulp, I think it is. And then there's a grapefruit on it, and then there's a musk. And then you think that's a very simple fragrance. And until you look up fig and see what fig is supposed to smell, it says it can be a green. And it says it works well with the citrus. And he really nailed that, putting that grapefruit and just the right amount. And it sort of works with that fig. Oh, it's a nice smell. It's like a green cream almost. Really nice. And I really enjoyed it. So now, he actually has his when he writes about this, he talks about a book called The Bell Jar. And he has a little poem in there on the bell jar on his, and he talks about, he had to pick out one of something, and he was torn now what to do. That's what this did to me too, because I'm like, oh, I like this, but I've liked a lot of his stuff, and I talked about him. All these are, besides the Replica, these are American independents, and they're all good. HappyLand people know of, Gallagher people know of. Emily Shelter and Perfume, people know of, who know her. And the same with ForTheScentOfIt. And even Michael Salazar from Aromas de Salazar, people, are getting to know him. And people want to try stuff that's different. They're all really good. So I'm figuring out what I got, because I got to buy some more samples from him. I've got 5 more left, but this time I want to buy a bottle. I don't know which one I'm going to buy, but I'm going to buy something. So anyway, I just wanted to say, please pray for peace. And please help me be kind. And I'll see you all next week. Bye.